until all have heard.
Hi, I'm Andy Bockert from Friends in Action International. And usually from this seat, I'm hosting our podcast, Till All Have Heard. But today I have a special guest. What you're about to watch is a conversation with Ella Howard, a college student from Liberty University who spent part of her summer with us. Ella started her internship on a missions trip to Uganda. She came back and served here at our headquarters in Middletown, Pennsylvania. This week, she wraps up her time with us. I want you to hear directly from her what her experience was like and what she got involved in her internship with a mission organization. Because if you're a student wondering whether a missions internship is worth your summer vacation, this conversation is for you. So, Ella, welcome to our interview process here.
Thank you.
So go ahead and tell the audience who you are and where you're at in your university career.
Yeah, I'm Ella Howard, and I'm going into my senior year at Liberty University. My major is interior design, and I have a minor in carpentry. I met FIA at Liberty. It was, we have different programs and different things. We had Global Focus Week, and a bunch of mission organizations were there, and it's always overwhelming for me. So I don't always get to all the tables, or I don't always look at them because it's hard to find one for an internship for interior design. I always looked around and I never really saw anything, but you guys came to my hall one night, and I think it was Susie that spoke, and that was the first time I've ever heard about you guys. Went to y'all's table and got to meet Betty and Susie, and then that started my whole FIA journey.
So you're studying interior design. That's not the most obvious line of work for missions organizations. So what interests you about Friends in Action?
One of the things that interests me most was I had just added a minor in carpentry, and I was seeing how well carpentry was merging into interior design, and I was like, well, I'm sure that I can learn something. And I didn't know if it would get approved to be an internship because it wasn't strictly interior design, but there was still aspects of it of you're around a building doing construction is still, there's interior design to it. So when I emailed my my internship advisor, I was like, I have this opportunity, and I explained it, and she was like, yeah, they've had people do Habitat for Humanity. People have done internships there, which is different, but it's also not too different of you're still doing construction and but yeah, I was interested to see how getting a real idea of how being on a construction site and seeing how things work, because that really does, the more knowledge you have about that, the better interior designer you can be, because then the more knowledge you have with and can communicate with all the other people who are involved.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, maybe unlike some internships, yours started right away. You hit the ground running. Only a few days, maybe 2 days after your last class, you were getting off a plane in Uganda. So tell me about just that first impression when you got into Uganda, basically right out of the classroom into the Uganda.
Yeah, honestly, airports are they're different from what you're actually what country you're going into. They're pretty different. So we got out, and I didn't really think much, because it was just off a plane getting tired. Honestly, the first thing I realized was, wow, it's hot. But it was definitely a transition to go from straight to school. It was go, go, go. But it was still great, and I noticed a lot as we were driving to James and Morgan's house. That's where I saw a lot of the culture kind of hit of like seeing just how different it is. I mean, for starters, they drive on the other side of the road. They drive on the left, which was hard to get used to for a little bit. I did definitely walk to go to the passenger side, but that was not the passenger side.
That's right.
But yeah, it was cool to see, like, as we drove, like, more towards, like, outside of the city into, like, you know, the neighborhoods and stuff, how much it changed. And the roads, which I don't know if you can really call them roads.
Out to the village.
Out to the village were interesting. And the police is just different there, too.
Yeah.
And the traffic with all, like, the boda-bodas. Yes, those.
Yeah.
They are everywhere.
So I don't want to unpack your trip too much in this session because we did recently record a podcast about your time in Uganda. But I do want to make future internship applicants understand that there are a couple key features that we want to include in an internship here at Friends in Action. One of them is an international trip experience. One, to get the experience of international culture, but two, to better understand what missions at FIA looks like. So we won't get real deep into your trip to Uganda. The listeners can watch the podcast if they're interested. But let me ask you, we had to withdraw a week early, which we talk about because of the Ebola scare. But what's one thing you brought home with you, just on that 1 week that we were able to experience rather than 2 weeks? What's one thing you brought home as an experience, kind of the memory that sticks with you?
Man, that's hard because a lot of it is sticking with me. That was a really great trip. One of the things that really sticking with me is just seeing the Lord's perseverance, because it was, you know, I am not good with change. So I'm good at being flexible, but I'm not good with change. So seeing how the Lord really, like, he got me through, like, I was fine with, like, you know, leaving a week early. It was a change, but I was adapting to it and better than I thought. And just seeing how, like, that, and then the Lord using me with my skill with painting, just seeing how the Lord really uses and, like, provides, and it's just, I mean, it was amazing to see that there, because I didn't see it just in myself. I saw it in like, the whole, like, with Melandala, I saw it with them, because, like, of how they just work with their community. It's just great to see how, like, the Lord's really working. Yeah, and
you have a really good God story that we unpacked on the podcast about how, as an interior design major, you weren't sure how God was going to use you, but it's just cool to see how God worked and had your time there impactful, not only to the workers, but also to the medical clinic that we were there to work on. Yeah. So, okay, so then we get back a week early. You start your internship here at headquarters. That was quite a significant shift, just from one culture to another, pretty quickly. What surprised you most about your first few days here at headquarters? You got to meet a whole lot more people as our staff here, as we introduced you and got you a chance to hear about a little bit about our departments and things. What is something that maybe surprised you in your first couple of days?
So, I mean, the first day, it was a Wednesday, so you guys had, you know, your big like staff meeting and Bible devotions. So I think there wasn't much, like, I was surprised, but also, like, not. But what, like, really captivated me was y'all's, like, community. Like, I saw the community in Uganda, and then coming here, it was still the same. Like, it was just surprising, like, how much you guys really, like, invest in each other and invest in what you guys are doing. And it was really great to see and, like, hear, like, that first day being back was you guys were doing Bible study, and just hearing that, and then the conversations afterwards, and then the prayer requests, and then the just talking about how the Lord is working in just different areas, and praying for the different people out in the out in the mission field, it was just really surprising, but also like, just it was great to see like how much you guys really like want to invest in everyone who walks in.
Yeah. So you got to know Betty Nisley, our team coordinator, pretty well. She was your host family for the time you spent here. Betty works a lot with our international short-term mission trips, coordinating flights and people and the projects. She works with the field leaders and the missionaries in the field to organize all those things. What share a story or two that just getting to know Betty and her family that has impacted you for your time here.
Yeah, it has been great staying with Betty and her family. They've been so welcoming, and it was really great because they invite me to whatever they're doing as a family, and it was really nice to, I'm away from home, but I'm still part of a home, and they made me feel, just comfortable there. But yeah, working with her for that little bit it was really cool because, I got to, be sent out, but then coming back and seeing like all the work that goes into like being sent out and all the work that she does is just like it's really great, and it was fun to get to know her. One of the things that I love talking to her about is the Clifton strengths, going through those. That was a lot of our conversation. That was mostly what we talked about, and it was just good to dive deeper into that and
into the Clifton strengths,
what all that means.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And that's, again, another key piece that we use for not only our staff, but our internships as well, as we have you go through the Strengths Finder assessment just to see how we can best lean into you and how you can better understand your giftedness as well. So, yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. You also spent time with our full-time mechanic missionary, Rob, down in his shop here at our headquarters. So tell me a little bit about that experience, too.
I did not know what I was getting myself into. And I was like, because, you can just tell he's a great character. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it was really great to hear his story. He has a lot to say, a lot of good stories, and it was really great just to hear his heart for all the missions and just his heart for the bikes, that the little bike mission thing that he wants to do. He really has a heart for that, and it was just great to hear and have him share about that, and just and then he taught me things that I didn't know what to do. I drove a forklift and did skid steer.
Yep, skid steer, the forklift, and what else?
Welding.
And you were welding, that's right.
And yeah, apparently I'm a natural, but
it did look pretty good. Yeah.
We'll see if I do any more of it. It was fun.
Yeah.
But I like carpentry a bit better. But yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because after we saw God use your skills in Uganda, I had to come back and rewrite your complete internship, more focused on how I saw God using you. So, but we did want you to get a bit of experience with Rob, just to hear his heart for missions, and also just to get some time as working with your hands a little bit. So again, just one of those key things that even though mechanics or welding or equipment operating isn't maybe in your career path, at least gives you a taste of something different, something new. So we try to offer that up as well here in our internships.
One of my goals for like the internship is just to learn new skills, and that definitely was, at the very beginning too, and still learning new things, but like it was fun to learn some new hands-on skills and just, be able to be like, I know how to do that.
Yeah,
so
no, that's good. That's good. So we actually did then lean into some of your interior design when we got back here, and there was a project in our main lobby that we wanted to do eventually at some point, but we felt that God was leading you into that, and that is painting our logo in our main lobby, our entrance area where everybody comes in and sees. We had a sign hanging there, but we wanted to put a mural on the wall. Tell me about that experience and how you processed through that over the last couple of days.
Yeah. I came back and I didn't know what to expect. But it was fun to be able to to paint that. It was a lot of work, but it was really cool to be able to use that skill overseas, but then still be able to use it here. And there was a sign hanging, and it was a good sign, not the greatest placement, but not my choice.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was great to like think about like it's there for a long time.
That's right.
It won't go away, and it was really fun to like be able to help you guys and like serve you guys by doing that, and then processing like the rest of like the interior design.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what you're going to leave us with for to kind of grow off of your ideas for the stair tower coming up to our offices. Share with the audience a little bit about what you have planned there.
Yeah, so I had a few ideas at the beginning, but I narrowed it down. And for the stairwell, I really wanted to just captivate, like, y'all's whole mission of, like, moving Earth to share heaven, and and I wanted to show and showcase kind of like visuals. So on one of the walls, I was, put you guys' name. And I really wanted a bunch of photos, because like for me, like a photo can say 100 words, 1,000 words. A photo can share a lot. And so yeah, just having a wall full of that can really just tell a story in of itself. And then hanging up some of y'all's artifacts from the different places that y'all have been those are also like, those are a big thing, because I know they're from where you guys have been and served, and those are really cool. And then I will work on this week with the Bible verse that you guys wanted up.
Yeah, very cool. So even though you may not be able to finish everything, you've given us ideas and concepts to continue forward with your ideas and your design, and I'm excited to continue doing that after you've gone.
I'm excited to see how all of the things will turn out.
Well, we'll try to do you proud. So.
Who knows? Maybe I'll come back for a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. So one of the things we have, or we try to do as a cultural impact here at FIA among the staff, we try to invest in each other. How did you see that play out in the short couple of weeks that you were here? And then was there anyone in particular that you felt drawn to or that invested in you during your time here?
Yeah. From the very beginning, I could tell that you guys are invested in everyone who comes in. Obviously, Betty had an investment, and then you and Susie. But I have to say Arlene, I really love spending time with her. She made an impact. She had some really good, advice and guidance, and we had a few conversations, on our way to the post office, and it was just, it's just great to have conversations with someone who's been around for a little bit. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. I feel like, she was a lot of fun, and it's great. Even though I wasn't initially assigned to do any work with her, it was really fun to, the Lord wanted me to, hang out with her some and help her out, which was fun.
Yeah. And again, it's part of you as an intern understanding how the body of Christ in a mission organization works. There's many parts, even from Arlene with the admin work that she does, and a lot of the behind the scenes that she works on, was able to draw you into some of that. And you mentioned going to the post office. That's one of the things that you don't really think about. Who gets your mail together, who sorts it, who folds it, who takes it to the post office. But you got the experience to see that behind the scenes work is important. Back office missions is what accelerates the in the field missions.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about FIA. That's what I love about exposing people to an understanding of you may not be called to be a pastor or an evangelist, but by doing the kingdom work that God has skilled you in, can help support those that are called to do that.
Yeah.
So let me shift a little bit into calling. You got an experience here with us. You've gone through our Orient program, which is a brief 3-day introduction to Friends in Action. We invite people into to the program for 3 days of learning more about who FIA is, how God has called us to FIA, how God has called us to the mission field, a little bit of understanding how the organization works from a nonprofit side and a mission side of the organization. You get to meet some of our field missionaries and so forth. So it's really an immersion of a lot of content with then a challenge to really follow maybe where God is leading you or what God is showing you through your time here. So we talked about calling in that a little bit. Unpack that for me and how you felt through that process and maybe where God could be leading you after graduation.
Yeah. Before Uganda and then before coming here, I didn't fully know like where God was calling me. I knew like I wanted to do something with interior design, and then I had this carpentry, and I've been volunteering my time with Samaritan's Purse with the rebuild. But I just still didn't really know like what that would gonna lead to. So, but yeah, Orient that gave me a lot of perspective and a lot of clarity with my prayer time in the evenings and throughout the day with the Lord. And it was amazing to see how the Lord has like shifted my heart posture, and like I now feel a sense of calling towards missions. Like I wasn't really fully expecting that, but as like, after Uganda, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised, because I enjoyed my time, and I realized that there are things that I can do in the missions field. And yeah, I mean, now with hearing what y'all do like fully, and who you guys are, and learning about like your past and how everything started, it was just so eye-opening. And then hearing all the stories are always really, they make a more of an impact on me, because it's just like, sometimes it's just, you kind of can put yourself in their shoes and really hear what the Lord's doing. And yeah, I was praying one night, and that feeling just kept getting growing and growing and growing of like, yeah, the Lord's calling me to missions. And whether it's with you guys or not, I know that I will continue with y'all in the ways that I can. And after graduation, I'm just kind of, we'll see where we're at, because that's a little bit away, but still don't know fully. But I definitely feel a calling to missions that I didn't really feel before.
Ella, if there is a college student watching this right now, someone who is curious about missions but not sure if it's for them, or maybe someone who thinks they need to be more qualified before stepping into something like this, what would you say to them?
I would say if you've been praying and asking the Lord about it, do it. One of the things that was mentioned in Orient, and that has constantly stuck with me, is the Lord, he doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. And that, I got to personally experience that of, I didn't know how the Lord was going to use me in Uganda. I knew I had some skills, but I didn't know exactly how and what I would do. And never, ever expected that I would be painting of all the things that I can do. I never expected that. So, for anyone who has a little thought, or there's like a little seed there, just there's something like, I might want to, there's no harm in going. It doesn't have to be like, you can do like 2 weeks really isn't, I was only there for a week, so I can't say much to 2 weeks, but either in a week, but 2 weeks isn't that much. Like, the Lord will provide and equip you with what you need. And because he knows how you will be best used and most beneficial. And yeah, I highly recommend, if you're thinking about it, just to continue to pray and see where the Lord is guiding your heart. And yeah.
Good, good. So that was a challenge to all you students watching this. Let's shift gears a little bit, though, Ella. What would you say to the university, maybe a professor, an advisor, a campus ministry leader, who is considering sending students to the FIA booth to learn more, or to contact somebody at FIA? What would you say? What would you say to the university?
First, I'd say do it. Go. Send them. But because I already know that some of my professors have been interested in, I don't think they've had an interior design student like go out and do something like this. So, I mean, one of the things specifically that actually I am going to mention to one of my professors for the trades is, I mean, there's no harm in going to the table, learn more information. I would definitely tell the university and professors that if you really want to get your hands dirty and see just different ways, it's a really great place to do that.
So let me wrap up with just a few more things. Oftentimes, an internship can seem like a honeymoon. Like we show you all of our best, and we want to impress you. And you mentioned things to the students next year and to your professors and things about our organization. But is there anything about this internship that was harder than you expected? Maybe something you would want a future intern to be prepared for?
I mean, the hardest thing for me was just the adjustment from, I've never been this far north before. So, I mean, that was, a harder adjustment. But
yeah, it's a cultural adjustment just in the United States, right?
Yeah, it really is.
To Lancaster County.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very, very, it's interesting. Definitely flexibility is definitely, key, and just being able to adapt. Those are key things for really in life, but for an internship in general, and especially I feel like with missions work it's important just to be able to be flexible and adapt to whatever.
Yeah, with adaptability, one of our core values, it definitely is something that I think we all have to be part of to be able to work well together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so last question. I want you to be honest. Would you recommend an FIA internship to a friend?
100%. I would recommend it for anyone. I would recommend it for interior design, communications, anywhere in the trades. There's so many opportunities with FIA. Like, you guys have so many places. Like, this is not just Uganda. There's definitely there's options, and for anyone with really, if God's calling you, do it. But I highly recommend an internship with FIA. It's really fun. It's been great.
I think it goes back to your statement, and I've heard it many times, but you said it well, is God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the call. Mm-hmm. So if you're willing to go, there's an opportunity for God to use you.
Yeah, if you're willing to go.
Yeah.
I was thinking about here I am, send me. And I was I've been so scared. And I even was drilling one night and I did send me ? And now I'm like, okay, here I am. Send me.
That's awesome. Well, folks, that is Ella Howard, Liberty University Summer of 2026 internship. If what you just heard resonates with you, or if you're a student who wants to understand maybe your calling a little bit better, or you want to see what missions actually looks like from the inside and what it's like to do the real work that matters for the kingdom, we want to hear from you. You can visit FIAIntl.org to learn more about our internship program. And if you're on a university or a campus ministry interested in partnering with us to send your students on a missions trip, reach out. We'd love to have the conversation. I know Ella is from Liberty, but we also work with many other universities. So what she experienced here is applicable across the college and university campuses. So I hope the conversation here with Ella has been impactful for you, and that you are challenged to consider moving earth to share heaven. Thanks.